take a little time today to talk about the history of software development. Not all-encompassing, just a little section to kind of get you started, especially related to Agile software development. Links are in the description. There are plenty more, but this is enough to get you started, and I'd gladly share more with you if people like that. So let's start with waterfall process, obviously based a lot on manufacturing, but rooted citation is often the paper by Winston Royce from 1970, Managing the Development of Large Software Systems. If the people who invested in waterfall, such as the Department of Defense, had actually read the paper versus, I don't know, reading its meta headline on social networks, if such a thing had existed, they would see that the paper was certainly not advocating for the waterfall process. In fact, it was advocating for an iterative process with users' involvement. So the fact that that's been part of the foundation of waterfall is a bit puzzling. Definitely read it. I'd say that's kind of the roots. People will often cite the Manifesto for Agile Software Development from 2001 as the beginning of Agile. But that's also not correct. That document, that philosophy, came out of a meeting of people who were already doing some of the things that are considered underneath the Agile software development umbrella, such as extreme programming with Ken Beck and Ron Jeffries, Chet Hendrickson, those guys, and Scrum from Schwaber and Sutherland. Those things had already been developing or in place since the early 1990s. So this was 10 years after some of these things had already been started and being used. Scrum especially is interesting because it brings in Kanban. Kanban is actually a manufacturing tool, a way to see where processes have bottlenecks and whatnot, and to control the flow through and reduce inventory. Lean manufacturing is the common thing that kind of groups that in together. So I would definitely look into the history of Scrum, and especially the paper from the Toyota manufacturing system guys, the new product development game, because those were strong foundations for Scrum. So there's a quick little peek at the history, and I hope that the ignorance can end. People will learn from history so that it's not repeated, and so that we understand why it is that Agile ideas are in place.